tragedy,
tragedy,
悲しい出来事や事故。
The event was a national tragedy.
the event was a national tragedy.
They suffered a personal tragedy.
They suffered a personal tragedy.
The play is a classic tragedy.
The play is a classic tragedy.
Tragedy,
Tragedy,
accompany,
accompany,
一緒に行く、または伴うこと。
she will accompany me to the event.
she will accompany me to the event.
Music accompanied the ceremony.
Music accompanied the ceremony.
He was accompanied by his assistant.
He was accompanied by his assistant.
Accompany,
Accompany,
score,
score,
競技やテストの点数、またはその点数をつけること。
he scored the winning goal.
he scored the winning goal.
The movie scored high with critics.
The movie scored high with critics.
She scored 90% on the test.
She scored 90% on the test.
Score,
Score,
farewell,
farewell,
さよならを言うこと、またはそのさよなら。
they said their farewells at the airport.
They said their farewells at the airport.
He gave a heartfelt farewell speech.
He gave a heartfelt farewell speech.
The farewell party was emotional.
The farewell party was emotional.
Farewell,
Farewell,
ridiculous,
ridiculous,
笑えるほど馬鹿げていること。
the idea seemed absolutely ridiculous.
the idea seemed absolutely ridiculous.
He looked ridiculous in that outfit.
He looked ridiculous in that outfit.
It's ridiculous to worry so much.
It's ridiculous to worry so much.
Ridiculous,
Ridiculous,
inevitable,
inevitable,
必ず起こる、または避けられないこと。
the accident was inevitable.
the accident was inevitable.
Change is inevitable.
Change is inevitable.
They faced the inevitable conclusion.
They faced the inevitable conclusion.
Inevitable,
Inevitable,
funeral,
funeral,
死者を弔う儀式。
Many attended the funeral service.
many attended the funeral service.
The funeral procession was solemn.
The funeral procession was solemn.
They planned a private funeral.
They planned a private funeral.
Funeral,
Funeral,
Reserve.
Reserve.
事前に確保すること、または保護された地域。
I need to reserve a table for dinner.
I need to reserve a table for dinner.
He kept his opinions in reserve.
He kept his opinions in reserve.
The wildlife reserve protects endangered species.
The wildlife reserve protects endangered species.
Reserve.
Reserve.
Propose.
Propose.
提案または計画を提示すること。
He proposed a new plan.
He proposed a new plan.
She proposed marriage to him.
She proposed marriage to him.
I propose that we take a break.
I propose that we take a break.
Propose.
Propose.
Reception.
Reception.
歓迎するイベント、または情報を受け取る場所。
The wedding reception was lively.
The wedding reception was lively.
The hotel reception is on the ground floor.
The hotel reception is on the ground floor.
The new policy received a mixed reception.
The new policy received a mixed reception.
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 Wake.
Wake.
目覚め、または何かが後に続くこと。
She woke up early in the morning.
She woke up early in the morning.
The disaster left destruction in its wake.
The disaster left destruction in its wake.
We held a wake for the deceased.
We held a wake for the deceased.
Wake.
Wake.
Financial.
Financial.
お金や資金に関連すること。
He gave us financial advice.
He gave us financial advice.
The company is in financial trouble.
The company is in financial trouble.
She's looking for financial security.
She's looking for financial security.
Financial.
Financial.
Fetch.
Fetch.
何かを取ってくること。
Please fetch me a glass of water.
Please fetch me a glass of water.
The dog loves to fetch the ball.
The dog loves to fetch the ball.
He went to fetch his coat.
He went to fetch his coat.
Fetch.
Fetch.
Craft.
Craft.
手作業による芸術作品、または作ること。
She learned the craft of weaving.
She learned the craft of weaving.
He crafted a beautiful sculpture.
He crafted a beautiful sculpture.
The boat is a fine example of craft.
The boat is a fine example of craft.
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 Weapon.
weapon,
攻撃や防御に使用する道具。
The soldier carried a weapon.
the soldier carried a weapon,
Nuclear weapons are a global threat.
nuclear weapons are a global threat,
They searched for hidden weapons.
they searched for hidden weapons,
Weapon.
weapon,
Income.
income,
稼ぎまたは得るお金の量。
His annual income increased.
his annual income increased,
They rely on a fixed income.
they rely on a fixed income,
The job provides a steady income.
the job provides a steady income,
Income.
income,
Lightning.
lightning,
急激で強烈な電気放電現象。
Lightning struck the tree.
lightning struck the tree,
The sky lit up with lightning.
the sky lit up with lightning,
They watched the lightning storm.
they watched the lightning storm,
Lightning.
lightning,
Primitive.
primitive,
非常に単純または初期の段階にあること。
They studied primitive cultures.
they studied primitive cultures,
Primitive tools were used for hunting.
primitive tools were used for hunting,
The cabin was quite primitive.
the cabin was quite primitive,
Primitive.
primitive,
Department.
department,
組織の特定の部分または分野。
He works in the marketing department.
he works in the marketing department,
The department store is having a sale.
the department store is having a sale,
She transferred to a different department.
she transferred to a different department,
Department.
department,
Deserve.
deserve,
何かを受けるに足る価値があること。
She deserves the award.
she deserves the award,
He didn't deserve such harsh treatment.
he didn't deserve such harsh treatment,
They deserve our thanks.
they deserve our thanks,
Deserve.
deserve,
Experiment.
experiment,
科学的なテスト、または新しいことを試す行為。
The experiment was conducted in the lab.
the experiment was conducted in the lab,
They experimented with new materials.
they experimented with new materials,
It's an experiment in living differently.
it's an experiment in living differently,
Experiment.
experiment,
Tremendous.
Tremendous.
非常に大きいまたは強烈な。
The news had tremendous impact.
The news had tremendous impact.
They made tremendous progress.
They made tremendous progress.
He felt tremendous pressure.
He felt tremendous pressure.
Tremendous.
Tremendous.
Intend.
Intend.
何かをするつもりであること。
I intend to finish the project soon.
I intend to finish the project soon.
They intend to marry next year.
They intend to marry next year.
He never intended to hurt anyone.
He never intended to hurt anyone.
Intend.
Intend.
Poison.
Poison.
有害な物質、または有害なものを与えること。
The plant's berries contain poison.
The plant's berries contain poison.
He was accused of poisoning the drink.
He was accused of poisoning the drink.
The water supply was poisoned.
The water supply was poisoned.
Poison.
Poison.
Climate.
Climate.
ある地域の平均的な天候や気象状況。
The climate in the area is tropical.
The climate in the area is tropical.
Climate change is a global concern.
Climate change is a global concern.
The city has a mild climate.
The city has a mild climate.
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 Recover.
Recover.
元の状態や健康を取り戻すこと。
He is recovering from surgery.
He is recovering from surgery.
She recovered her lost wallet.
She recovered her lost wallet.
The economy is slowly recovering.
The economy is slowly recovering.
Recover.
Recover.
Arrange.
Arrange.
何かを計画または整理すること。
They arranged a meeting for next week.
They arranged a meeting for next week.
She arranged the flowers beautifully.
She arranged the flowers beautifully.
Can you arrange transportation?
Can you arrange transportation?
Arrange.
Arrange.
Distinguish.
Distinguish.
見分けるまたは識別すること。
He can distinguish different types of birds.
He can distinguish different types of birds.
The feature that distinguishes them is color.
The feature that distinguishes them is color.
It's hard to distinguish fact from fiction.
It's hard to distinguish fact from fiction.
Distinguish.
Distinguish.
Restore.
Restore.
元の状態に戻すこと。
The painting was carefully restored.
The painting was carefully restored.
They are working to restore the old building.
They are working to restore the old building.
He restored peace in the region.
He restored peace in the region.
Restore.
Restore.
Selfish.
Selfish.
自分の利益のみを考えること。
It's selfish to ignore others' needs.
It's selfish to ignore others' needs.
She was accused of being selfish.
She was accused of being selfish.
A selfish decision can harm relationships.
A selfish decision can harm relationships.
Selfish.
Selfish.
Protest.
Protest.
不満や反対の意見を表明すること。
They protested against the new law.
They protested against the new law.
The workers went on strike in protest.
The workers went on strike in protest.
Her silence was a form of protest.
Her silence was a form of protest.
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 Vice.
Vice.
道徳的に悪い習慣や行為。
Gambling is considered a vice.
Gambling is considered a vice.
He was caught in a vice of corruption.
He was caught in a vice of corruption.
She fought against the vices of society.
She fought against the vices of society.
Vice.
Vice.
Temporary.
Temporary.
短期間のみ続くこと。
The job is only temporary.
The job is only temporary.
They lived in temporary housing.
They lived in temporary housing.
The solution was temporary.
The solution was temporary.
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 Moderate.
Moderate.
程よい、または穏やかにすること。
He has moderate views on politics.
He has moderate views on politics.
The moderator helped moderate the debate.
The moderator helped moderate the debate.
Eat and drink in moderate amounts.
Eat and drink in moderate amounts.
Moderate.
Moderate.
Acknowledge.
Acknowledge.
事実や存在を認めること。
She acknowledged her mistake.
She acknowledged her mistake.
He acknowledged receiving the email.
He acknowledged receiving the email.
The problem needs to be acknowledged.
The problem needs to be acknowledged.
Acknowledge.
Acknowledge.
remedy,
remedy,
病気の治療または問題の解決方法。
they sought a remedy for the disease.
they sought a remedy for the disease.
The law provides a remedy for this issue.
The law provides a remedy for this issue.
He tried to remedy the situation.
He tried to remedy the situation.
Remedy,
Remedy,
pole,
pole,
長く細い棒状のもの、または地球の極。
the tent is supported by poles.
the tent is supported by poles.
He reached the North Pole.
He reached the North Pole.
A flag hung from the pole.
A flag hung from the pole.
Pole,
Pole,
sink,
sink,
水中に沈むこと、または水を使う設備。
the ship began to sink.
the ship began to sink.
Wash your hands in the sink.
Wash your hands in the sink.
The kitchen has a double sink.
The kitchen has a double sink.
Sink,
Sink,
ward,
ward,
病院の部門、または保護すること。
she works in the maternity ward.
she works in the maternity ward.
The ward was quiet at night.
The ward was quiet at night.
He became a ward of the state.
He became a ward of the state.
Ward,
Ward,
nephew,
nephew,
兄弟姉妹の息子。
My nephew is starting school this year.
my nephew is starting school this year.
He spent the weekend with his nephew.
He spent the weekend with his nephew.
She bought a gift for her nephew.
She bought a gift for her nephew.
Nephew,
Nephew,